Cheryl is going to come up and give a brief thing on the Daniel Fast, which begins tomorrow for those that are participating. She'll explain a little bit more about it. It's kind of snuck on us here, and then she'll lead the sharing time.
Awesome word. He ended with talking about hunger, and now we're hungering for God, and now we're going to talk about fasting. I like that. There's more. There's more in 2024. Yeah. Just a little bit about the Daniel Fast and how we started doing it here as a body and why. In January of 2017, for me, I was driving to work one morning in early January 2017 and just feeling a little down, and I didn't have a lot of that inspiring hope or motivation or energy in my body, and I was just on my drive. I just cried out to the Lord, Lord, I want energy. I want that passion. I want that, that was shared today, and I need you to show me what to do. I don't know what to do. And at lunchtime that day, I got my phone out, and I don't know what I was looking for, but I saw Franklin Graham, Billy Graham's son, had written a post about how he's excited because he's getting ready to start his annual Daniel Fast. And I had heard of a Daniel Fast before, but I wasn't real sure what it was. But for whatever reason, it jumped out at me. I knew that was the Lord's answer to my cry on my way to work that morning. And, he does hear the cries of our hearts, and he puts those answers in our pathway. And he did that for me. And so I decided I'm going to jump right in. I believe this is God's answer for me. And so I read up on it a little bit, and I learned that you can do like a 10-day Daniel Fast or a 21-day. And I just started with a 10-day Daniel Fast that year. And a Daniel Fast is not a total fast. It's a partial fast. So you're still eating food every day, unless you choose to skip some meals or whatever. But it's basically you're eating whole foods. You're eating vegetables and fruits and whole grains and nuts and beans and things like that, but no meat or dairy or anything processed, no flour, what we would call comfort foods, what the book of Daniel calls pleasant foods. It's really not comforting. I've said it before, but it's really not comforting to eat a carrot, and be like, it's not comfort food. But the point is that we're talking about, growing in discipline and laying down our lives. And the theme of this year's Daniel Fast is I surrender all. And, what Keith talked about, what the Lord shared with me about fasting is the decluttering that it brings into our lives. And Keith was talking about making space for God. And, my table gets cluttered. Like I walk in the door and stuff gets piled on there. And it stays that way unless I purposefully say, today I am going to clear off that table and put things where they belong. And in our lives, we get cluttered. Our spirits, our souls, and our bodies get cluttered. Our blood can get cluttered. Our organs can get cluttered by the things that we eat. And by our emotions, our things that we stuff down. I was reading again that over 90% of mental illnesses and even physical illnesses are caused by the emotions that we clutter our lives with and don't rid ourselves of, And our spirits can get even cluttered. There are many podcasts for us to listen to, many sermons, many TV programs, many streaming services, all of these things. But to put Jesus at the center, we've got to make that space. And this time of fasting for me has become a way for me to be purposeful and say, I am decluttering my spirit, my soul, my body. I am clearing off the table, and I'm giving him room to do what he wants to do in my life this year. And so I did that in 2017 and 2018, and then in 2019, I shared about it here and invited anyone who wanted to join me in that to join me. And so for the last 3 years, there have been a group of people that have joined, and so that's what is starting this the 1st through the 21st. You can read more about it online. You can find recipes at ultimatedanielfast.com, and or you can ask some of us who have done it over time. We've learned some tricks to the trade, but one of the important keys is to drink plenty of water. My first 2 years, I failed at that, and it does your body kind of painful for your body. So drink plenty of water if you're going to fast, and also, you know, if you don't feel like you can do 21 days, you can choose a day, a week, 3 days to just spend some time fasting, or if it's not food that you can fast, maybe social media, or some way to be able to make space for Jesus to be in the center, and he'll do the rest.